Good evening and welcome live again to Full Velocity TV and home of the TDR Pro Late Model Series here tonight. These guys are at Volusia Raceway Park. Can't wait to get this show on the road. Phil will be joining me here momentarily, having a few technical difficulties on his end, but he will be joining me as soon as he can, as qualifying just ending here on the Speedway, just waiting to see what's going to happen. I believe there's going to be 2 heat races here tonight. 10 cars tonight for the Pro Late Model Series. A little bit of a growth from last week. So again, Full Velocity TV and a fantastic race here we have in store for you tonight. Got to thank the fine folks at Kabang Energy Candy for getting us here tonight. And can't wait to see what kind of shockers we have in store for us here this evening. Again, Phil will be with us here momentarily. Guys are gridding here for heat number 1. And heat number 1 is going to be led by the number 8 car. That's David Day. His dancing partner to the outside. Driving the number 35, that'll be Dan Smolders. Jeremy Weatherby in the Kabang Energy sponsored machine. He is starting in that 3rd spot. 4th will be Joel Bay, a rookie to this series. And also Martin Karch bringing up the tail in that number 101 machine. These guys continue to pace. We'll get to the national anthem right directly before the main event here this evening. That'll be the feature. That'll be 50 laps will be the distance. Just a reminder, 50/50 tickets are on sale right now. $7.50 so far goes to the winner here tonight. That's a pocket full of cash here. Let's see if we can get some more. nsmotorsports32@gmail.com. 1 for 1, 3 for 2, and 10 for $5. Just let us know how many tickets you do want. nsmotorsports@gmail.com. Also got to thank the fine folks at RTZ for sponsoring this series. They put up quite a bit of money here for the championship series. Again, 45% will go to the points champion, 25% to second, third will be 15%, 10% for 4th, and for 5th will be 5% of the total overall winnings. Getting ready to go green flag racing. That's going to be Mr. Excitement in that orange and silver car on the front row. Dan Smolders on the outside. Welcome back him to TDR Sim Racing League. Green flag is getting ready to come out, and it's out. And the hammer is down the front. Straight away, it's David Day leading the charge down into turn 1. Dan Smolders down to the bottom. Held sucking here at Volusia, trying to find a way around the number 8 machine of David Day. David Day right now momentarily holding on to the top spot with Dan Smolders working the bottom side. In that number 35 machine, 3rd is Jeremy Weatherby. In that number 289, Joel Bay, like you said, a rookie in this series. He is right now running in that 4th spot, so good run for him. He's just trying it out there, open setup style. Here comes Dan Smolders back down to the bottom side. The number 8 of David Day, Mr. Excitement, working over the middle groove here, almost up to the top here, middle of the thing, as it looks like directly in front of him. The 101 of Martin Karch getting a late start here, maybe missed the grid. We're on lap 3 of 10 down here to turn number 3. It's the number 35 of Dan Smolders down on the bottom side, trying to work over that number 8 of David Day. Day has lap traffic in front of him in form of the 101, the high side hustler Martin Karch. That's not too often that we see Karch go a lap down in the heat race. Like you said, late start. Here comes Dan Smolders firing back down on the inside. The number 8 machine of David Day still holding on to it. Lap 4 complete there for that number 8 machine. The 35 of Dan Smolders still running in that 2nd spot. 3rd is Jeremy Weatherby. Quite the distance behind these two, battling it out, duking it out up front. 1-2 battle on the bottom. Still Dan Smolders trying to try everything to get around that number 8 machine of David Day. Not to no prevail right now. 5 laps to go. We are halfway home in this heat race. David Day still holding the lead with the 35 of Dan Smolders, ducking down to the bottom once again, trying to get some traction, trying to get some forward bite off the corner, and he's not able to do so that time. David Day gets a tad bit loose, but running in the middle groove there. Looks like that preferred groove. He's able to get off the corner just a little bit better in that number 8 machine. Mr. Excitement, David Day still holding on with a 35 right there for 2. And he's trying to get around that number 8 machine, trying everything he can, trying to throw maybe even the kitchen sink at the number 8, but not able to do so. Again, Dan Smolder's back down to the bottom side, trying to get by him again. 2 laps to go. Popsicle sticks in the air. 2 more laps around the speedway for the number 8 machine of David Day. Can he pull off this heat race win with the number 35 breathing down his neck, down the back straightaway here into turn number 3. Here comes Smolders trying to pull a slide job down here into turn number 3, and out of 4 side by side. White flag in the air down into turn number 1. Smolders back down to the bottom trying to fight David Day on the outside. Smolders down on the bottom. That's where he's been trying to work it all evening long here for heat race number 1. Smolders back down to the bottom side. David Day on the outside going to pick up heat race number 1. The number 8 of David Day. Dan Smolders going to come home second. Jeremy Weatherby going to finish third. Fourth is going to be Martin Karch and Joel By. And the number 70 machine going to round out your top 5. Getting ready for heat number 2. Again, got to thank the fine folks at Kabang Energy Kennedy and also the RTZ for putting up a lot of different prizes and different things that are going on here throughout the season here. The TDR Pro Late Model Series going on here. And heat race number 2 is going to go away like this. Starting on the pole, that's the Sidewinder, the number 2 of Scott Schroyer. His dancing partner to the outside, driving the number 7. That's Nicholas Weatherby in that number 7 machine. Third on the field, that's the number 45. That's Michael Massey. And fourth will be Randall Thompson, rounding out there in that number 5 machine. Again, slow pace as these guys start pacing around the speedway behind that iRacing.com pace truck here, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. They do go on the initial green here as iRacing does throw that. They got Scott Schroyer and the number 7 of Weatherby. That is going to be your front row here. These guys take one more lap, I believe one more lap around the speedway, just getting accustomed to it and figuring out what they're going to do. A lot of thoughts going through a driver's mind as they're out there on the speedway heat race. They know they're all in. They want that beautiful track position. They want to start up towards the front there. There is only maybe 9 drivers, like we said, but 9 drivers make it hard because they're all really, really good. We're still looking for drivers in the TDR Late Model Pro Series here, and if you want to join us at TDR Sim Racing League on iRacing and ask us why. $5 covers the street stocks and the Pro Late Models, and you'll be able to run with us here on Monday nights. Pace car makes that hard left-hand turn. Green flags out. Loud pedal is down the front straightaway. Scott Schroyer leading him down. Slide job on the number 7 of Nicholas Weatherby. Weatherby holds off and stays in that second spot, but drifts way up the track to that number 7 machine. Scott Schroyer now takes a commanding lead down here into 3, and off of turn number 4, going to lead lap number 1 will be the number 2 of Scott Schroyer. Nicholas Weatherby running in that second spot, trying to work on the bottom side, the same place that Dan Smolders ran in that number 35 machine. Not able to do quite the job that the 35 of Dan Smolders was going to be able to do, but he's trying to maintain on that second spot. He's got a rear view mirror full of that number 45 machine of Michael Massey, and I know mirrors are probably not turned on in some of these guys' cars, and I say that because a lot of these guys asked if they were going to turn them off here this evening. Nicholas Weatherby running in that second spot. Third is Michael Massey. Fourth is Randall Thompson. And Thompson is a rookie here to TDR also this season, trying to motor it out there in this Pro Late Model Series. And we don't necessarily look for the fastest guys. We look for the guys that have a good head on their shoulders here to go out here and race with us each and every week. Scott Schroyer maintains the lead here in that number 2 machine, that Budweiser Select sponsored machine. Number 7 of Nicholas Weatherby running in that second spot. We are halfway home this time by 5 in, 5 to go for the number 2 of Scott Schroyer. Nicholas Weatherby running in that second spot. Third will be Michael Massey. Randall Thompson running in that 4th spot. As like we said, down the back straightaway, it is Schroyer with a commanding lead, almost a second over the number 7 of Nicholas Weatherby. Michael Massey holding on to that 3rd spot. Nice run for Massey in that 45 machine as we got 4 laps remaining here, 4 circuits remaining for the number 2 machine. Still watching the number 7 here on your screen. Nicholas Weatherby trying to track down that number 2, the Sidewinder, Scott Schroyer. Not going to be able to do so, losing more time to that number 2 machine, but he's got a solid run going for him. And that number 7, so we're going to have to see what's going to happen between him and that number 2 of Scott Schroyer. Schroyer looks like he's going to be able to pull away once again and actually make it happen here for that Budweiser Select. His popsicle sticks in the air as they enter turn number 1 and off a corner number 2 down the back chute. The number 2 of Scott Schroyer maintains the lead here down into turn number 3. It's Schroyer with a commanding lead there, almost a second. Like you said, he messed up just a little bit going into 3 and 4. White Silk in the air. White flag is out for the number 2. Budweiser Selects of Scott Schroyer. Nicholas Weatherby starting to pounce on that number 2 machine, but not going to have enough time coming out of turn number 3 and out of turn number 4. That's the number 2 machine of Scott Schroyer picking up heat race number 2. Nicholas Weatherby finishing second. Third will be Michael Massey and Randall Thompson, rounding out your 4-car field here for heat race number 2. These guys are going to get restacked, repacked, make some changes down there for a little bit of a hot lap session. 5 minutes will be the call, and these guys hopefully can get things together, and we're going to have a fantastic race in store for you here this evening as we wait for the feature event. 50 laps will be the distance here on Full Velocity TV. Glad to be back a part of that. We also have our broadcast here this coming Thursday night with the Hobo Racing League NASCAR 2003 finally back with Full Velocity TV. We're finally back in that simulation where we all started a long time ago. We're going to be able to broadcast them Thursday night. It's Hobo Racing League, and then we'll be back here once again on Monday night for the TDR Pro Series race number 3. So hopefully we can get more people involved. Glad you are all out there in the YouTube chat. Hopefully everything is sounding all right. It's been a long time since I've been able to do one of these shows all by myself. Used to having Phil alongside of me, and man, I'm going to have to get something to drink, so I apologize for some of the pauses. We're going to throw it down trackside for the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And welcome back, playing of our national anthem, salute and honor those from abroad and serving this country. Fantastic way to honor those guys here this evening before the feature go here tonight at Volusia Speedway Park here down in Florida. Beautiful prepared track here. It's starting to get a little bit bumpy out there on the speedway. Watching the number 2 here in hot laps, just bouncing around just a little bit. That's the Sidewinder, Scott Schroyer, one of our heat race winners. And he's starting to work over the bottom side too. So it's going to be interesting to see what type of grooves these guys are going to have here this evening and see if they're going to work on the bottom, the top, the middle. Where is going to be the best groove here and who is going to win this race here tonight. It's going to be a new winner here this evening on Full Velocity TV. Phil is working on getting into the communications here. I know he had some issues here, so hopefully he can be alongside of me here for the feature call. 50 laps is going to be a lot to call all by my lonesome, and we're going to have to see what's going to happen here. Hopefully Phil can shake off all them gremlins and get himself here acquainted back up here into the broadcast booth. Need my partner in crime, and it's fantastic to have him up here with us here for Full Velocity TV. But I got to thank once again Kabang Energy Candy, here the official sponsor of Full Velocity TV and also a sponsor of the TDR Pro Late Model Series. Kabang Energy Candy, check them out. We're going to have some free samples to give away here sooner or later. Got to thank Mr. Weatherby for that sponsor. Again, thanking Kabang Energy Candy for coming aboard. Also got to thank RTZ Racing, slinging dirt here. That's Scott Schroyer and the RTZ guys there, the team of RTZ. If you're looking to sponsor a series, you can do what RTZ did and sponsor our series and put some money up for this fantastic racing that's been going on here all evening long. And the last week's race, it was awesome. We had a little bit light of a car count, but we're starting to see some more guys trickle in here, and hopefully this series will grow.
Todd, do you hear me, my friend? Everybody, Full Velocity TV. I think I've got communication, Todd. Do you hear me all right?
Finally have my broadcast partner alongside of me. Have a new microphone filled, and I got to try it out quite a bit here. Glad to have you apart. They're getting ready to grid already here at the Speedway.
Well, I'm doing the best I can. I apologize to you, Todd, especially the guys at TDR, and, of course, our audience here at Full Velocity TV, I should say. Got myself kind of locked out of the race server, if you per se. Hit the wrong button, could not get myself logged back in. So, Todd, I'm going to flank you alongside, call it from the blimp view, because I'm going to sit here and watch it full velocity style right here on YouTube with you. So I'm going to do the very best I can to stay up to date here following along. So we're going to lean on each other to make this call happen. But just so you have to know, and all our viewers out there know, I'm going to be doing this along with you guys on YouTube and not exactly, flying over in the blimp. So this is going to be an experience.
It's going to be a fantastic show here indeed. 50 laps is the distance, the main event here for the TDR Pro Late Model Series. And we're going to go away like this. Starting on the pole, driving the number 8, that's Mr. Excitement. David Day, his dancing partner is outside, driving that Budweiser Select machine. It may even be Budweiser now. It's actually Budweiser. That is the number 2, the Sidewinder, Scott Schroyer. Inside row number 2, starting in that third starting position, driving the number 35. That's Dan Smolders. Welcome back to TDR Racing. And his dancing partner outside, driving that number 7 machine. That's Nicholas Weatherby. Inside row number 3, starting in that 5th starting position, driving the 289 machine. That is Jeremy Weatherby in the 289. And his dancing partner outside, driving the number 45. That's Michael Massey. Inside, row number 4, starting in that 7th starting position. That is the high side hustler. That's Martin Karch in that number 101 machine. And outside of him, the number 5, that's Randall Thompson. And bringing up the rear, another rookie here in the series, that's Joel By. And that number 70 machine, 9 cars they called for. 9 cars we have. 50 laps is the distance here for the TDR Pro Late Model Racing League here as we're getting ready to go. Green flag racing. Pace car takes that hard left-hand turn. Green flags out. They mash the throttle. Loud pedal down. Down into turn number 1. Leading the way, the number 8 of David Day.
David Day brings him into turn number 1 and 2. Scott Schroyer going to flank him there. Stan Smolders, the 35, going to look for running him as well. The 5 of Randall Thompson there as well. Here comes Nick Weatherby in the 7 car. Great race going on there for the lead, all chasing David Day off to turn 3.
Yeah, David Day leading the charge down here into turn number 3. Here comes Scott Schroyer down to the bottom side by side off of turn number 2. Scott Schroyer to the lead in that number 2 machine. David Day drops back to the second. Here comes the 35 back down to the inside. That's Dan Smolders side by side there momentarily with the number 7 of Nicholas Weatherby. Not able to complete the pass that time but they battle for the lead once again. David Day back down to the bottom.
David Day looking for room to the bottom side. Scott Schroyer in that 2 car. How about the run he had last week? Almost took home a victory here on Full Velocity TV. He's going to try to make that a 1 here at the Velocity, on Full Velocity today at the Volusia County Speedway. So Scott Schroyer, David Day, that's a good battle for the lead. Dan Smolders there, Todd. He's there as well.
Dan Smolders working over the number 7 of Nicholas Weatherby. Weatherby in the middle groove on the bottom in that gray car. That's the number 35 of Dan Smolders. Smolders still working over the bottom, much like he did in the heat race. He's trying to get into that third spot. You know he's got a fast car. And that number 35 machine not able to get around the number 7, though. Weatherby, he's able to hold off and fend off the charge of that 35 machine. Meanwhile, back up front, David Day back down to the bottom, trying to get around the 2. Scott Schroyer. Schroyer right now working the cushion here in the number 2 machine. The Budweiser down the back straightaway. It's still Scott Schroyer.
Scott Schroyer maintaining the lead. And what I'm observing here, Todd, looks like that top line of the racetrack, you know, the opposite of what we saw here last week at Lanier. That cushion is definitely built in here tonight. These guys making some speed up on the top shelves. Schroyer making it work. You see David Day, Dan Smollers, those guys have been running more to the low side of the racetrack. So far, top shelf working, and Scott Schroyer is able to hold on to that lead.
Slide job by the 35 of Dan Smolders. He's going to work his way around that number 7 of Nicholas Weatherby. He puts Smolders into that third spot. Now he sets his sights on the front running Scott Schroyer and the number 8 of David Day. Day is going to be the first guy he's going to be able to get to in that number 35 machine right now. Day keeping him at bay about 2 car lengths back.
Yeah, 2 car lengths back. Smolders there as well, trying to make something happen. Nicholas Weatherby has dropped into the clutches at 5th place running. Looks like that'd be the 45 of Mike Massey. Also see Mark Karch in there, the 101. Him and Jeremy Weatherby, they're all there. Put those under a blanket, but we turn our attention up to the lead. Dan Smolders, he is there. He is all over David Day, battling for second off of 2.
Yeah, Dan Smolders caught the rear bumper of the number 8, Mr. Excitement. David Day trying to get around him. He's going to work on the bottom. Looks like he's kind of changed his groove just a little bit, trying to push the cushion there in the number 35. He's going to have to make a pass. He's probably going to have to make it on the bottom side. That's why he's been working it so much. Dan Smolders gets a little bit out of shape, loose coming off of turn number 2 down the back chute. Here he comes, David Day back down to the bottom. He sees 35 Dan Smolders in his rearview mirror. He's like, it's time to go. I got to get around Scott Schroyer. He put himself down on the bottom, could not get around him that time.
Yeah, with 50 laps of distance here tonight, we're already approaching lap number 15, if you can believe it. These guys really putting some fast laps on the board. Scott Schroyer having a hell of a run out there in that Budweiser number 2. But David Day, that number 8 car, he is starting to turn the wick up. He's going to start applying pressure. Smolders is there as well. Top 3 cars have danced away from the field. That battle for 4th has kind of settled down amongst itself back there. That's where you find the likes of Nick Weatherby back down to 7, the 101 of Martin Karch. They are right there trying to run them down. But top 3 have really pulled away from this field, Todd, and we're not quite 20 laps into this event. So far, good race, and Scott Schroyer, he has not made that one mistake up high. A flawless race so far by that number 2 car.
Yeah, David Day's setup looks like it's going away a tad in that number 8 machine as it looked like he drifted up high, got up in the marbles. That would have made an easy pass for the number 35 of Dan Smolders, put Dan Smolders to that 2nd spot. And that number 35 machine, now he's got to track down the number 2 as the 70 gets up and out of the way. Kudos to Joe by in that number 70 machine, able to get up and out of the way, letting these guys go by him, going 1 lap down, but getting that much needed track time in that number 70 machine. But the 35 of Dan Smolders right now holding on to that 2nd spot as he tries to track down Scott Schroyer, and he's almost to his rear bumper.
Yeah, almost. David Day has actually fallen off the pace a little bit here in that 3rd spot. He may fall back to the clutches of the 7 of Nicholas Weatherby. The 8 car setup definitely starting to go away. Versus the 35 car of Smolders there, Todd. Looks like his set may be starting to dial in a little bit. He's chased Scott Schroyer down what was maybe 1 second. Well, it's mere car lengths. There's good pressure there as they head toward turn 3.
Yeah, Dan Smolders all over his yellow flag going to fly here for the first time at Volusia. The number 70 up in the wall, and that was all by his lonesome. Is the number 70 machine. We're not gonna show the 70 as he is a rookie. Joel By trying to make things happen there, and he was up into the wall there in that number 70 machine. So tough break for Joe By as he is going to go down another lap to the field. But this yellow flag's going to tighten everything up, and it's going to be interesting to see how this is all going to play out. Caution flag number 1. The 35 of Dan Smolders right now running in that 2nd spot. 3rd is the number 8 of David Day. Not sure what's going out there on the speedway as things are happening here as they slow down just a little bit there, Phil.
Yeah, and I can almost, sympathize with Joel Bay out here tonight in the 70 car. And good to see Joel join us here. I know he was out there in the Street Stock Series that TDR holds here a little while ago that I think both of us tried to take a gander in. But, yeah, great to see him out here. I mean, it's a helpless feeling. Your car's a little bit off. You got these fast guys coming. I mean, I'm a guy who's really used to that scenario here. You just kind of feel all helpless. The field comes at you so fast. You got to do your best to get out of the way. The problem is you just run out of racetrack so quickly. Joe Bay, trying to do the right thing, getting up out of the way, but that car getting into the outside wall and Caution flag for the first time approaching the halfway mark. Great to have you all aboard here on Full Velocity TV. Race number 2 for the TDR Open Pro Late Model Series presented by RTZ Racing, and Full Velocity TV thrilled to have this whole season aboard here every Monday night. You can expect Todd and Phil here with the call. Thanks you guys out there on YouTube Live here this evening for engaging and joining in on the show. And gonna, of course, special thanks to Jeremy Weatherby, the guys at Kabang Energy Candy, stepping up, being the presenting sponsor for us here this week on Full Velocity TV. Also, the all-new fantasy app, Draft.com. They've also come aboard, so a lot of great things going on. But Todd, believe we're about to put this thing back under the green flag, and we are halfway approaching.
Yeah, green flag is indeed back in the air. The 35 of Dan Smulders there was outfoxed there on the restarts. The 2 of Scott Schroyer was able to control the pace, able to get back out in front there as he did have the preferred group to the 35 up on the top shelf of the Speedway. Now the 8 of David Day all over the rear bumper. The 35 of Smulders. Here comes Smulders lurking down there on the left rear quarter panel. That number 2 is Scott Schroyer driving it in deep down the front straightaway. Dan Smulders now back down to the bottom side, head hunting for the number 2 is Scott Schroyer. Schroyer able to maintain pace there. Schroyer, a better long run car, is the number 2 machine, as he's trying to hold off the number 35 of Dan Smulders. Smulders put on one whale of a heat race with that number 8 of David Day. Now putting on a whale of a feature with those 3 guys.
Yeah, he got a huge send down there to turn 1 on that restart and almost made that thing work. And he's, look at that contestant down there, 35 of Smulders. He is there to the inside lane. Scott Schroyer having to hold off probably his most, steep challenger of the night there. That 35 of Smulders is there. David Day lurking in car number 8. If one of these 2 guys up front to make a mistake, the 8 car definitely looks like a very good short run car. He is there as well, but Schroyer has not made that mistake, and a veteran like Dan Smulders running the inside lane, you just gotta give kudos to that RTZ Racing machine, that number 2 Budweiser car of Scott Schroyer. He's having a hell of a night, but Dan Smulders, he's not gonna go away. He's gonna look to the low side. He's applying all the pressure Scott can handle.
Yeah, those have said that there is no competition here in the TDR Pro Late Model Series. Well, I'm here to show you there is 3 wide racing. There's been 2 wide racing. These guys fighting tooth and nail up here towards the front, so competition is pretty good here. With the number 35 of Dan Smulders still trying to work over the bottom, but Schroyer working over the middle. He's on that cushion in that number 2 machine, just able to work that to perfection here as you see him come off of turn number 2 down the back chute here. And that's kind of a short straightaway here coming into turn 3. Smulders driving in real deep there momentarily. I thought he was going to make contact with the 2 of Scott Schroyer, but Smulders, a good driver to say the least, in that number 35 machine, still all over the rear bumper, that 2 of Scott Schroyer.
Yeah, he really is. Smulders not going away. David Day kind of still there in the periphery in the 8 car. He's currently running 3rd. Jeremy Weatherby having a really solid run. He's got the 289 up in the 4th spot, and looks like it's that 5th place car is number 45. How about the run from Mike Massey? A solid top 5 going on for the 45. Mike, a veteran here on the dirt, been a guy who's done many laps around this Volusia County Speedway. The 45 with a solid top 5, but back up front there, Todd. We're now past 30 laps on the board. We're under 20 left to go here in race number 2 for the TDR Racing Open Pro Late Model Series. And the story up front has been all Scott Schroyer, but he's got a heavy contention there for that 35 of Dan Smulders. I mean, look at this battle. That 35 tried to get Pirelli as well for the inside lane, but Scott Schroyer not making that mistake, and he's able to hold on to this race lead as we approach lap number 35 next time around.
Yeah, Schroyer doing everything he can to keep that 35 of Dan Smulders at bay. Smulders makes a little bit of contact there with the wall entering turn number 1. Off of turn number 2, Schroyer able to get that forward bite as the 35 of Smulders there left a little bit into dust as he comes down here into turn number 3, trying to slingshot it down into the bottom. Not going to be able to pull off a pass there. About 2 car lengths advantage for that number 2 of Scott Schroyer.
2 car lengths to back for the 35 of Smulders, a couple car lengths back, almost a full second between Smulders and the 8 car of David Day. So this looks like it may be 2 cars to settle it. This race has a green flag feel, only slowed by 1 so far. Schroyer, that number 2, been running that outside lane all night long. Setup is right on the money. Smulders, a 35. He's having to kind of move to the middle side of the racetrack, trying to do all he can. 35 car starting to fade. How about that run for Schroyer there, Todd? He's going to have about 10 circuits away from bringing home this week's checkered flag.
Yeah, Schroyer's came up 2nd place last week there in the initial start there as the number 2 Scott Schroyer finishes second last week. Right now trying to better that finish by 1 spot and take home the victory here this evening. He's doing everything he can. He's lap 37 of 50. Oh, the 35 down low. Really dug it in deep there. Is he going to be able to complete that pass coming off of turn number 3? Not going to be able to do so far. But the 35 of Dan Smolders, this is the biggest challenge that he has thrown at the number 2, Scott Schroyer. Yeah, Schroyer fends it off here into turn number 1.
Yeah, great maneuver there. The 35 did all he could do. Schroyer was just on the money, able to make that thing stick in the top side there. I don't know if there was contact there, Todd, between those two guys, but this is great driving. Anybody who is poo-pooing on the competition here at TDR, well, they don't have a freaking clue what they're talking about. These guys are top shelf. You come over and be a part of this action every Monday night. Look up at TDR Sim Racing League. Under 10 laps to go in this week's 50-lap A main, and it is hotly contested for the lead. Scott Schroyer holding up the challenge of Dan Smolders there as they head toward turn 3.
Yeah, 50-50 still available here. Right now we've only had $7.50, and it's by one of our admins. So if nothing goes for the 50-50, we'll roll it over to next week. So we'll start off with $7.50. Trying to get that driver's point fund up there. Scott Schroyer still leading here. About 3 car lengths is the advantage over the 35 of Dan Smolders. Smolders trying to pull him back in. Meanwhile, David Day running in that third spot. Tough break for Martin Karch, already out of this event. I know he was having some pedal issues in that 101 machine trying to get it going, but tough break for Martin Karch here. That's not the way he wanted to start his season. The 2 of Scott Schroyer still maintaining that lead over the 35 of Dan Smolders.
Yeah, tough break for Martin indeed. He was a winner here earlier tonight in the TDR Street Stock Series. He brought that 101 home in the victory lane. You know, had to make some mechanical adjustments to his rig there in between, and couldn't get full throttle out of that thing, and that throttle pedal just was not working, and unfortunately had to pull that number 101 behind the wall when the Pro Late model is going to put him out of the event. Looks like he'll finish up 8th place here tonight. But, Todd, I mean, I just can't stop talking about this battle up front. I hate to keep harping on it, as our motto is always going back to the field. But the racing here is so close to Volusia. These laps go by so fast. And Scott Schroyer, he has just been the king here tonight, the king of ears on that number 2. Well, he is the king of Volusia County Speedway. He has held off a top contender, Dan Smolders, who just continues to apply that pressure, looking for every ounce of real estate to make his way around here as we're under 5 laps to go.
Yeah, Scott Schroyer doing an amazing job in that number 2 machine. 5 laps to go now. 5 laps remain down here in the turn number 1. They're starting to catch lap traffic. Schroyer is going to have to make a choice where he's going to go. Dan Smolders, I'm almost guaranteeing, he's going to go where Schroyer don't go if they catch this lap traffic. Schroyer maintaining this lead here over Smolders. Smolders looking to see where he's going to go. Nice battle going on in front of him between Michael Massey and that number 5 machine. Randall Thompson there. Those guys battling it out there for that 6th position. Now here comes Schroyer, caught up to the 5 of Thompson, and able to go down to the bottom side there. The 5 gets up and out of the way. Oh, giving all kinds of headaches for the 2 of Scott Schroyer. Schroyer trying to make, oh, contact made! They save it though. The 35 of Dan Smolders still running in that 2nd spot. I thought Schroyer was going to go around heads-up maneuver there for that 35 of Dan Smolders, letting it out. That shows you what kind of driver the Smolders guy is in that 35.
Oh, that's a wheelman right there. Both those guys just heading up on lap traffic. We know how much that can, you know, throw a monkey wrench into the equation. Randall Thompson did all he could do, get himself up out of the way, and great driving by both of those guys there. Scott Schroyer and Dan Smolders still contending for the lead. Looks like Schroyer here, Todd, as we approach, I believe, white flag next time around. The 2 car looking poised to go to victory lane.
2 car was looking poised, lap traffic in the way. The 45 of Massey seen 1 car coming. He got up out of the way, didn't realize Scott Schroyer was there. Contact was made, and Schroyer going to be relegated to a 2nd place finish. Bringing home the win was Dan Smolders. And that number 35 machine, Smolders, the lucky benefactor there on the white flag lap. We got to see that all live here on Full Velocity TV. Tough break for the number 2 of Scott Schroyer, leading all those laps and to come up just 1 lap shy.
Man, that is just frustrating if you're the 2 car. I'm sure he's got to be a little bit short on a fuse there. Is leading all these laps and just got pinned behind a lap car coming to the checkered flag. That just absolutely sucks if you're Scott Schroyer. But the benefactor is number 35 car of Dan Smolders. He's going to bring his way in the TDR victory lane this week. Scott Schroyer will finish up 2nd, David Day 3rd. Believe 4th on the docket, the 289 of Jeremy Weatherby. Randall Thompson 5th, Nicholas Weatherby 6th, Mike Massey 7th, Martin Karch 8th out of the event, and Joel Bay number 70. He was our 9th car coming out to the Speedway tonight. Full field run down here, sponsored by Full Velocity TV, and of course our friends at Kabang Energy Candy coming on board here for the TDR Open Pro Late Model Series presented by RTZ Racing, and an awesome feature there, Todd. Man, that was wild, and just a tough break there for Scott Schroyer. He led it, looks like 49 laps of this race, just one lap short, and maybe just a corner short. So he got caught behind that lap car.
Yeah, definitely coming up one lap shy for the Sidewinder Scott Schroyer. Tough break for Scott Schroyer. I know Schroyer wanted that one, but bringing home a second-place finish. That's 2 in a row there for Scott Schroyer, bringing up 2 second-place finishes. Points leader from last week has been relegated not to be racing here with TDR, unfortunately. So now we're going to have a new points leader, I believe, taking over. That will be the number 2 machine of Scott Schroyer, so he's got to be looking at the big picture. I know he wanted that win, but we're going to have to wait and see. Phil, I'm going to throw it down to you. I believe you've caught up with our third-place finisher, Mr. Excitement, David Day.
Yeah, I am down here on pit road. David jumping out of the 8 car. David, man, that was an awesome race by you. Those 2 guys up front had a really stout setup. Your car kind of looked to be built there for the short run. How much do you need a late race restart if you were going to have a chance to go out there and claim a checker flag yourself?
We could have definitely mixed it up with a late restart, just throwing it in and making the guys drive it. But yeah, we ran a little bit less fuel than what we needed to. We lost rear percentage about quarter of the way into the race, so we were basically just holding on from there. But yeah, it worked out.
Now, you probably had the best view of all. Those 2 guys up front, Scott and Dan, those guys were literally almost side by side for probably the last 20-plus laps. What was the view like out the windshield there? I know the dirt's all flying around, and you're doing all you can digging to try to get up to the lead, but that had to be an awesome race to watch. I know we had a hell of a good time watching up here in the blimp view.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was really hoping they were going to mix it up a little bit harder than that, especially on the last lap there. Sucks to see what happened to Scott there, but it was entertaining to say the least. Every time they would get together and race a little bit harder, I'd gain a little bit, but then I'd mess up myself. So.
Well, brother, we know yours is around the corner. Is your guy who's been a veteran of these dirt cars, of course, these late models for a long time. But you know the drill of what Todd and I do. We've been doing this a long time now. I'm going to give you the mic. We're on Full Velocity TV here tonight live. There's a lot of guys out there watching. Give a shout out to all of them now. You know how we do it.
Yeah, just firstly, gotta say a big thank you to Baby Joe, Team Crush. If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have been anywhere up near the front. Last week we just threw a setup in and it didn't work out at all. And he spent a few more minutes than I did and was pretty damn close. So I'll take that. Thanks again, buddy. Shout out to 3unit.ca and shout out to you guys. Thanks again for putting all this stuff on and shout out to all the haters out there.
That's right. Yeah, great job tonight. That's Mr. Excitement. David Day going to bring the 8 car home. Odd number for him, but the 8 car coming home with that second place run here tonight. I'm going to run a little bit further down pit road, see if I can catch up with a 2 car of Scott Schroyer and, see what he's going to be thinking there. Scott, buddy, man, 49 and a half laps you lead that thing to get stuck by a lap car going into turn 3. Man, we just all hate it for you, but golly, you had such a good car out there tonight. Tell us some about it.
Yeah, it was fun. It seemed to handle pretty good there. After that first caution, went to that restart. It seemed to started to get tight. I don't think I had enough lead axle in it, and it started to get tight on exit. But Volusia's such a one groove track that I just was trying to hold it in that groove, and I knew it was going to be difficult for Dan to pass on the bottom. So I was just trying to hold my line and. Yeah, it's unfortunate that happens, but it does happen. I wasn't really sure where Michael was going to go, and so I didn't know if he's going to give me the bottom or the top, and it just escalated, and it happens.
No, it certainly does. As a guy who's been in Mike's shoes 100 times here with lap cars, being a lap car with those leaders coming on, you just feel like you're in a no-win situation of what groove you get to and try to yield up to the leader, especially on a tight track like Volusia, being one groove and you 2 guys up there. I mean, literally side by side, I think 20 laps you guys are right there, nip and tuck. Dan gave it all he had on the low side, but you had that thing. I mean, golly, that thing was just hooked up on the outside, up on the cushion all night long. A tremendous run by you, brother. And for the guys who may be out there poo-pooing on the competition over here at TDR on a Monday night, I mean, the naysayers could be proven wrong. You guys put one hell of a race on here tonight. Now we got a lot of guys out there. We would love to invite all more to come be a part of this series. So, give those guys the invite and tell these guys how to get a hold of us.
Right. Yeah, it's a good league, guys, and I don't care what anybody says out there about the competition. Competition here is good, and it's good, clean. Everybody respects everybody, and that's what it's all about. We come out here to enjoy ourselves. We don't come out here to make enemies and get aggravated. I mean, there's a lot more things in life you can do to get aggravated at. So, we come out here to enjoy it. So, but, it's still not too late. Sign up, TDR Sim Racing League. Every Pro Lay model race will be broadcasted the rest of the year. You guys, Full Velocity TV do an awesome job as always. And I want to give a shout out to Gary Piccolo out there. I kind of put a throwback paint scheme on the car for tonight, one that he painted back in the NR 2003 days. So, and I know he was watching, so I hope he enjoyed it.
Yeah, the King of Beer is on that car number 2 tonight, Scott. Almost the King of Volusia. About a quarter lap away from picking up a checkered flag. But if there's any consolation, man, you're going to take over the series point lead. Yes, we're 2 races in, but you know how crucial these points can be in having these good finishes. So congratulations on a good run there, bud. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you here. I'm sure Todd's going to greet you here at Victory Lane real soon. So great job as always. Great job of the show. And TDR can be proud. 2 really good, fantastic races this evening.
Thanks, guys. You guys did an awesome job. I'll give a shout out to teammate Martin Karch out there. I know he was having some issues tonight with the pedals and stuff, and I know he didn't get it right because I know Martin runs well here too, and Martin would have been right up in there fighting for it as well. So hate to see that happen, but thanks again, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Sky. Yeah, tough to see Martin out there tonight. But Scott Schroyer, always gracious to us. 1 spot short here in the runner-up position, but the guy who benefited from the melee of the lap traffic, I'm sure Todd, if he feels like he may have stole this race or not. He was there all night long knocking on the door. That's the 35 car of Dan Smolders, who is in Victory Lane with 2 tall Todd Stanton.
Yeah, I'm down here in Victory Lane with driver of the 35, Dan Smolders. Dan, I can't say you stole it. You were right there, nicking, tucking with the number 2 machine of Scott Schroyer. Yeah, lap traffic got in the way. Lap traffic happened to help you this time about, but I've seen many of times where lap traffic doesn't help other people. So you're able to be the benefactor here tonight. Lead half a lap. You have the most important lap, the last lap, and you're down here in Victory Lane. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it getting lucky either. I mean, I was there the whole race. I wasn't going to drive them dirty or anything. I might have threw a slider on the last lap there, but thankfully the lap car got in the way and helped me out, so I didn't have to do that. But yeah, I definitely didn't get lucky off that.
No, definitely not lucky. It's you guys were fighting tooth and nail, and you were probably the best one running the bottom side, trying to make that bottom side work. And it just like Scott Schroyer had the forward bite coming off the corner, looked like a one-groove track, as Scott would say. You tried everything you could down there on the bottom. You were able to get by him, but that lap car, using him kind of like a pick kind of ordeal, you were able to get by and bring home that victory.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. I knew we were going to run into lap traffic sooner or later, so I was planning on getting by him there in the lap traffic.
Well, it's great to see you here again tonight, Dan, bringing home a victory yet again here. Going to put another tally here on your all-time win list here at TDR Racing, and fantastic showing, as we're accustomed to here on Full Velocity TV. I'm going to give you the microphone. The floor is all yours. Thank you, whoever you'd like to thank here this evening.
Yeah, I want to thank No Name Motorsports, you guys, for putting this on. This is a blast. Performance Fiberglass and Marine. All the racers on here for Racing Clean. This has got to be one of the most fun leagues that I've ever raced in. Thanks, guys.
Bringing home the victory once again here tonight, Volusia Speedway, Volusia Park here. Driver that number 35 machine, Dan Smolders, taking down the win, leading just half a lap there, Phil.
Half a lap, and it was the right lap. The money lap brings it into Victory Lane, and congratulations. Great return for Dan Smolders over to TDR Racing, and I hope you guys enjoyed the show just as much as we did bringing it to you. Apologize there, Todd. Mechanical failure getting into the race server here on time, and got myself in, got kicked out back, and God, I had a whale of a time trying to even get myself even into the gate here at Volusia Speedway to try to come in and call this action. But a great 50-lap feature for these guys at TDR here tonight. And a fantastic showing. And I know this is the first of what is going to be a very busy stretch for us here on Full Velocity TV. The return of Phil Lacasse and Todd Stanton, bringing the Full Velocity TV brand back to the NASCAR 2003 community. Thursday night, we go back over to our buddies at Hobo Racing. What a better way to re-debut us there out on that platform. The Whelen Modified Series at the Stafford Motor Speedway here. I believe that's race number 1 for the Hobo Racing Modified Series season. So cannot wait to go back over there. Cannot wait to go to home base back to NR 2003 here Thursday night. So all you guys out there, on our Facebook, social media, look out for those YouTube links here now. We'll be live on YouTube right back here Thursday night. And, of course, next week back here on Monday night as well. YouTube Live for the TDR Pro Late Model Series presented by RTZ Racing. Special thanks tonight to Jeremy Weatherby, Kabang Energy Candy, and the Olu Fantasy Sports app, Draft.com, for coming on aboard. So for my broadcast partner, Todd Stanton, who did a hell of a job here tonight, lead announcer duties in the controls. Phil Lacasse here, signing off. We'll be back here Thursday night with another installment of Full Velocity TV. Thanks for watching. You all be safe out there, and good night.